Hey, what's good, everybody? I'd like to welcome you guys back to the Boombox Guru channel. I'm your host, LB. So today, man, we got another CD update video for you guys. I know it's been a little minute since I've done one of these videos, and since the last time I done one of my CD update videos, I've actually accumulated quite a few CDs and stuff of that nature, man. But I got 5 CDs right here that I want to talk about today. And without further ado, we're gonna get straight into this. So the first CD I want to talk about that I found at a local record store from around, around my way. It's Rollins Band, "The End of Silence," released in 1992. Uh, this was I believe it was either the third or fourth album by the Rollins Band. I'm not sure because I know they had at least 2 albums before this, and they had some EPs that they released. But yeah, the Rollins Band. This is with the band that Henry Rollins, formerly of Black Flag. This is the band that he formed after he left Black Flag. Uh, this album right here, man, I got put onto this album from a YouTuber named Finn McKenty. He did a video a couple of years ago about alternative metal, and "The End of Silence" was one of the records that he talked about quite a bit, that he gave a lot of praise to. And he played a few songs from the album, snippets of it. I really dug what I heard. I searched on online trying to find this album, and I did find it online, but most of the copies that I found online were quite expensive. So I was very fortunate to find this for $6, at this local record store, and it's in pretty good condition. The case has a little wear on it, but not that bad. But the CD actually looks really good, man. I mean, it's hard to believe that this is from 1992. But whoever had this CD really kept it in great condition. They took real good care of it. I mean, the liner notes, the booklet and everything is in good condition. It's almost like it's a brand new CD or whatever, man. But great record. Very representative of that early 90s alternative, style that was happening, man. A good blend of like groove, post-hardcore, some jazz and blues influences, all of that on top of metal, even some funk, even a little bit of funk. And the subject matter on here is also very awesome. The subject matter on here is very positive, very uplifting. I mean, the song called "Low Self Opinion," which I believe is one of the big singles from this album. Just go listen to that song and read the lyrics, man. I'm telling you, it'll definitely motivate you and just make you like want to feel like you can take on the world, man. But very glad to add this to my collection. I'm glad I found an original copy of it for such a reasonable price, man. But yeah, go stream this album on Spotify, wherever you listen to music, YouTube. But just a great record. All right, hold on, let me switch these. All right, so next album I have is "The End of All Things to Come" by Mudvayne. You probably can't really see the cover that good. It's pretty black. Yeah, I think you can see a little bit better there. Yeah, so me and a couple of friends, almost a month ago now, we went to go see Rob Zombie on the Freaks on Parade tour, and of course Mudvayne was one of the acts on there. Uh, Honestly, I'm not all that familiar with Mudvayne outside of the LD50 album, their debut, but they played a lot from that record, and they also played a lot of songs from their other records, and it just made me want to go and check out more of their music. So I started with their second album, "The End of All Things to Come," and I sort of remember this era of Mudvayne. I think this is when they had the whole alien get up. I could be wrong about this, but there's a whole alien thing kind of in the liner notes of this record. I think this is when they had the whole alien get up. But in any ways, man, I found this on eBay. I think it was probably like about $7 or something like that, but it was in very good condition. I would say kind of almost mint condition, honestly, man. I mean, this looked like it was never been opened from 2002. But as far as the album, the music goes, I think that it was a very worthy follow up to LD50. I heard a lot of people say that LD50 was Mudvayne's only really good record, but honestly, they have more records that are really good, and this is one of them. For the most part, "The End of All Things," it follows the same kind of formula of LD50, where they're taking new metal and they're blending it with progressive metal and very technical, proficient musicianship. But there's also hints of them slightly moving into a more mainstream direction. But they still maintain that technicality. There's also some songs on here where there's a lot of like thrash metal influences as well. And Chad Gray as a vocalist, I mean, his vocals sound even better on here than on LD50. I mean, he's still maintaining that whole alternating between like his very great clean vocals and his aggressive harsh vocals. But I thought it was a solid follow up, man, and I enjoyed the record. I like it just as much as LD50. So if you haven't really checked out none of Mudvayne's music outside of her debut, definitely check out with The End of All Things to Come. I think it was a great record, and I think it shows that Mudvayne has more than just one great record. So definitely pick this one up if you haven't. Let's see if you guys can see that cover. Yeah, it's hard to see that cover. Sorry. All right, so next CD, this is another Mudvayne. And actually, this one had been recommended to me by a friend. Shout out to my man Zake the Metalhead. But he had recommended me this album quite a bit, and that's Lost and Found, released in 2005, I believe. Yeah, 2005. Yeah, another Mudvayne album I wasn't really familiar with, but when we saw them live on the Freaks on Parade tour, they did perform. I do recall them performing the song Happy live. I do recall hearing that, and I really dug it. I thought that sounded really great. And like I said, my friend Zake the Metalhead, he talks about this album quite a bit. He even says that this is his favorite Mudvayne album. He's recommended it to me a few times, and when I heard him play that song live and a few other ones from here, I decided to go on Spotify and listen to it, and I dug it. I thought it was really good. Now, of course, Lost and Found, music-wise, they definitely had dropped the whole progressive metal element of the first two records. So this is more of like a mainstream. This is more of like a mainstream metal album, but it's still heavy. It's still aggressive. It's not. I don't know why people kind of call this a sellout record. I guess because they stripped away the whole progressive elements of the previous two albums. But even though it doesn't have that element anymore, it's still a solid mainstream metal record in my personal opinion. I mean, Chad Gray, his vocal performance is still awesome. Still a lot of heavy riffs that pack a lot of punch to them. Great rhythms. I mean, every song on this record was good, man. And they was still heavy. So that's why I still dug it, man. But in any regards, man, I liked the record. I thought it was great. I thought it was a solid follow-up. So, yeah, another plus for me, another favorite of mine in Mudvayne's catalog. I believe I got this off of eBay. No, I didn't get it off of eBay. I actually got this off of Amazon. I got it from a third-party seller for, I think it was like maybe $4 or $5, and it came in a relatively short amount of time. So, no, I'm excited about that, but still a really great record, man. I dug it. So don't sleep on Mudvayne's albums after LD50, man, because they still was putting out some pretty good material in my opinion. All right, so next album. This one, I guess this is really not metal per se, but it's still somewhat heavy, man. But I had the second album by Bush, Razorblade Suitcase, released in 1996. So I've been digging a little bit into Bush's discography. I started with this album actually because I've seen Razorblade Suitcase at a lot of record stores in the used section. But I think most fans of Bush, or at least the critics, they prefer the first album more, and I do plan on getting to the first album that they did, but I wanted to start with this one because this is the one that I see a lot in most record stores, is Razorblade Suitcase, and before I bought it, I actually streamed it on Spotify, and I actually liked the album. I thought it was really good. This is another one that I found at Revolver Records, and it was only $3, and pretty good condition in my opinion. I actually could have had this album a little bit earlier. I found it at another place that I shop for music, used music, but it had water damage. But this one, great. Liner notes are cool, in great condition, everything, man. CD's in great condition and everything. But yeah, listen to this on Spotify, and I dug it, man. One of the many things that I dug about this album was it really sounded like the band recorded it live in the studio together. It just had this really raw, stripped down sound. And then I posted about it on my Instagram, and somebody commented, and I forget who it was. It might have been one of my followers. Marcelli Weighs a Ton. It might have. I'm not sure if that was you. If you come across this video, let me know if that was you that commented. But I think it might have been you that said that Steve Albini produced this record. That he actually produced this record, and then that makes sense because Steve Albini is known for having like a very kind of abrasive production style. Because I mean, he produced my favorite Nirvana album, which is In Utero, and that's why I like In Utero so much, because of that raw abrasive sound, and that's kind of what he went for with Bush on this record, Razor Blade Suitcase. I mean, I read some reviews about it. The critics seem to have mixed reviews about it. They seem to didn't like it as much as the first album, but I dug the record. I like the sound, but like I said, I'm relatively a new fan to Bush, so this is just my personal opinion. I dug it. I thought it was a really great album, but I'm glad to finally have a physical copy of it. But yeah, I dug it, man. Glad to have this in my collection, man. But hey, cool album in my opinion. All right, so last but not least, this particular album, this is probably my most exciting purchase recently, man. I'm glad to have this one in my collection. But I finally got a physical copy of White Zombie's Make Them Die Slowly, released in 1989. And this is White Zombie's second full-length album. Actually, by the time you see this video, I would have been done. I actually did a solo album review on this album, so I'm not gonna go too deep into this record on this video. By the time you see this video, you will probably have been done watch the album review that I've done on it. But yeah, Make Them Die Slowly. This is the band's second album. This was their first attempt at going heavy metal. It was produced by Bill Laswell. I found this on Amazon, actually. I found it on Amazon. I will admit, this one was a little bit more expensive compared to the other ones I just showed you, because this one is kind of, I guess you could kind of say it's sort of a rarity in a lot of ways. But when I was looking for physical copies of the CD, Make Them Die Slowly is actually the most accessible White Zombie album of the pre-Geffen years. Because Soul Crusher, I don't know if they ever released Soul Crusher on CD officially. I think I saw a bootleg of it on Amazon that had the Psycho Head Blowout EP with it. But for the most part, I looked on Discogs and other places. I think Soul Crusher, their first full-length studio album, was only released on vinyl and cassette. But I technically have Soul Crusher because I have the White Zombie box set. It came from New York City that compiles all that early stuff, including this one. But I just wanted to have an individual physical copy of Make Them Die Slowly, and I think it was worth it. I think it was worth it, man. And man, whoever had this CD, man, they took really good care of it, man. This doesn't even look like it was from 1989, honestly, man. Look, I don't know if they might have reissued Make Them Die Slowly in the past, and I just never knew about that. But whoever had this took real good care of it. I mean, the liner notes is really good. It's in really good condition. It doesn't really show a lot of wear and tear. Look, there's a really cool picture right here, drawn by Rob Zombie. Here's a picture of the band right there at the time. I was trying to find this picture on the internet to use for a thumbnail, but I couldn't. Yeah, that's the picture of the band. Really cool back cover. I have a T-shirt of this and everything like that. Here's the CD. This came out on Caroline Records. That's the CD. But yeah, whoever had this, man, shout out to y'all because y'all took really good care of this record, man. But yeah, I was really excited to have this in my collection, man, because White Zombie is one of my favorite bands, one of my favorite heavy metal bands. And I made a post about this on Instagram when I got it, and I got a lot of likes on it. That post got a lot of hits, man. And it's a really cool glimpse into early White Zombie in their pre-Geffen years, man. So if you want to get a dose of White Zombie in their pre-Geffen years, this is definitely a good record to listen to. This was supposed to, like I said, this was White Zombie's first attempt at heavy metal, because they were previously more of like a noise rock or noise metal band in the past from New York City. But this is where they started to really transition more into metal. But it's also the only album they did with John Ritchie, the guitar player right here. After this, Jay Younger, he would join the band, and then that's when their sound really started to come together. But I really dig this. This is actually one of my favorite White Zombie albums. I listen to this one just as much as I listen to Le Sexorcisto and Astro Creep, man. I feel like that this album and Le Sexorcisto and Astro Creep are White Zombie's like metal masterpieces. I've heard people refer to these at 3 albums as their metal masterpieces. But I really dig it, and I'm very excited to have this in my collection. Sometimes I just look at it and like, man, I can't believe I got a individual copy of Make Them Die Slowly. But yeah, one of probably my most exciting purchase recently, man. But yeah, man. But definitely stream this album and get a dose of that early White Zombie, man. Well, I'm not gonna go too more into it. I'll save the rest of it for the interview, for the album review that I'm gonna drop. I'll go more in depth about it. But yeah, I like it, man. I think it's a very underrated classic in my opinion. Probably one of the most unique metal albums to ever be released. But alright, man, that's it for this video CD update. I don't know what CD update number this is. I think it might be number 13, because like I said, it's been a while since I've done one. But be on the lookout for more of these. I'm gonna try to get back in the groove of doing more of these type of videos. And hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys enjoyed my recent purchases. Hope it inspired some of you to go and check out some of these albums if you never heard them. But as always, hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up and give me a like. Helps with the algorithm. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I drop new content. I want to give a huge thank you to everybody that's been subscribing to the channel, that's been showing your support. I really appreciate it. And as always, hope everybody has a blessed day, a blessed week, and love, peace, and music. Peace out, y'all.